finally actually have the manas. It took a while, but finally actually have them in full piece. And as you can see, it has the box and the instructions. So let's finally actually look at this. Starting off with the set number, which is 8539. Piece count is 442. Time release was 2001, of course. I mean, duh. And retail price was $90. So these were, I believe, to be the most expensive out of the Rahi. They're the most expensive because I believe they have the most piece count. So, or do they? I think Muak and Kanira technically has more pieces than the Manas, but the Manas is more expensive because of their remote control functions. So, yeah. So anyway, let's look at the box. You have some, I will say advertisement, but it's just showing you pieces, sections of the Manas, and then Bionicle. Then of course you see the big box, and that's, I won't say the advertisement, just them demonstrating how you use the remote controls. All right, and at the bottom of the box, this thing says it takes, I don't know if you can see that, it takes 12 batteries, 12 AA batteries. So that's a lot. So I will be I will be talking about that in a minute. And then on the side, some more Bionicle, not to say Bionicle, but some more just the Manas in another shot. And then on the back, there is a bigger, showing of how they use the controls, and then the god-awful combination model that I would not be building today because I am not going to do that. Then some advertising material for the Bionicle Mentionui online game. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember. And then just showing you what they can do. They fight each other, knock the mask off, and all that good stuff. And just imagine not having these sets. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what the box. And let me get the instructions. Hopefully no pieces fall out because there's excess pieces. And I want to pull it out. Come on. And pieces fell out anyway, so oh well. So ignoring this because I did buy this used, but it does work. But anyway, the instructions just for the main Manas. Actually, this is the one that actually shows up in the Manog. I'm gonna call it Manog because that's what no one else calls it. And then it just shows me all the sets, which I do now have them all in my collection, which is nice to see. So and then some other stuff for some whatever these called. I don't know what those card things are called, technic things. Then they got the orange white Manas and has some actual Bionicle stuff on it. I'm not gonna read it here, but I don't know if you can really see that. I don't know if you could pause that and just read it, but I don't know. That's if you care about that stuff. And then show some nice pictures of all the Toa doing their actiony things and stuff and all that good stuff. So yeah. And then this actually includes the horrible combination model, which I'm again not building. So yeah, so that's about it with the box. I mean, no one really comes for a box review, they come for obviously the Bionicle review. So with that, I am going to now show you the Manas. And here are the Manas and their very blocky glory. So let's start off with the pros. Pros are that they have a pretty nice color scheme, minus the gray, all the gray and black, but that's actually the good part. I will say this one has a really nice color scheme with the yellow and the grays and the blacks. That works, and I like how it looks. And then the white and orange one is not bad either. I just like both their colors. Their colors are really good in my opinion. I don't have too much to complain about with them, so not with color schemes at least. So they're pretty good. I do like that. I will admit that. Another pro would be that they're well, they're pretty big. They're pretty decently sized, so they're not like some pushovers. They're not like the Nui Ramas or anything, or the Jagas even. They're pretty tough. They're pretty strong. And actually, these were actually the main enforcers to block the Toa from reaching Makuta. This is actually they're like the last thing you fight before they got to Makuta, which is pretty cool. And then a little cool little story bit. And then I know Makuta had like these heating towers in there, and give the mana stronger power, made them stronger. So Tao's basically kind of, well, he's kind of useless in that battle. So they actually had to make the Kai to even defeat the Monas, which is crazy because they're pretty strong. But I'm getting off topic. I'm talking about the story, so let's get back to, you know, I won't count the story bits for pros. I just wanted to talk about it. But yeah, let's actually talk about the set. Well, another pro would be, well, I guess the functions. Let's just get onto the functions because there's not a lot of pros. There's plenty of cons, but not a lot of pros. So let's actually do that. So we have here the remote controller. It's pretty primitive. It's pretty a product of its time, and you cannot see that on camera. Can you see that? Okay, so yeah, let me fix that a little bit. So yeah, right here you have the dials, which, you know, you have 1, 2, 3 and all. I don't know what all does, so all is kind of weird, but 1, 2, 3, the frequency you can set it to, and of course the little buttons, very standard. So yeah, nothing too special with them, with that. And let's move you to the side. Let's put this bad boy right here. So they recommend you put this little hook right here. It's almost kind of like an ignition key, and then you just stick it into the slot. You can just turn it like that. I'm going to keep it at 2, and it's already set to 2, so you just stick it right here. I don't know, you can twist it. I don't really know if it works. I don't really think it matters. Twist it, and there you go. It works. So how it works, the top buttons launch forward. Let me back them up. So top buttons make him move forward, as you can see. It moves forward. The back buttons make him move back. So you can do some crazy combinations like that. That's pretty funny. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I will say that's actually a pro for me, because that's really cool though. Obviously, because that's like the main point. That's the point of you getting 12 batteries for this thing. So yeah. So yeah, so you play them around, you play with them, you use them to fight each other or other creatures, other Rahi or Toa or whatever, and then, you know, you kick butt with them. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So I know another thing is, I want to see if I can do it. So I know I have this one on. I'm going to change it to 1 because for some reason the other one don't really work as well, but I personally think it's a really cool thing that you can actually, you can technically have them both working like that with just one controller. I think that's really cool, personally. I have not seen anyone actually ever show this, but I mean, I guess they already knew that they could, but I just think that's really cool. But you can count that as a pro. I'm going to count it as a pro because I think that's really cool. So yeah, I think that's a pro. So that's really about it. And the way to turn off, there's really not an off button. It's just it just turns off. Just, you know, a lack of activity going on. So that's about it with them, with that at least. All right, let's now look into the cons, and oh boy, I've been waiting a good while to finally talk about how I feel personally about these sets. And I won't lie, some of these these are just my opinions and a few of the community's opinions. But starting off with, you know, they do not tread. They do not move on their own, because since these are motorized, that means they are up. That's another con right there. Just give me trouble. So they mean they literally are motorized. You cannot slide them like the Nui Ramas. Not Nui Ramas, not my mistake. The Tarakava or the Muwaka Kanira, they do not move. They are completely motorized. So that means they cannot move unless you have the controllers to activate them. So you better hope that they actually work if you buy them used. So and that's wild to me. And you hope to have 12 AA batteries, because that's personally a con. I think that's a con. It's literally requires you to take 12 batteries. And I get, oh, it's primitive. It's, you know, back in 2001 they weren't all that advanced, but I'm like, 12 batteries? That's a lot. It's different. It was 6 batteries, but it's 12. That's an awful lot of batteries. I'm just, so you expecting me, little Timmy, is supposed to sit here and go tell their parents to go get them a $90 Lego set along with 12 freaking AA batteries? That just seems a little wild to me. But I don't know. I guess, what do I know? Because I didn't have these sets obviously when I was a child, because when these came out I was like a baby. But beside the point, that is not the point of relevancy. The point is, the batteries are absolutely ridiculous. That is a lot of batteries, and I just do not think that is honestly necessary. I think they could have done something about that, but what are you gonna do? I guess it's over and done. That was 20 years ago. Anyway, next con will be, once I just showed you, is the one where if you pop them too hard or you start trying to move them, this the little teeth, it'll flop. Since it is attached to a rubber band, it will flop very easily, and like that, it will flop. It is it's really annoying. I do not like that. That is something I find to be quite annoying personally for me. So yeah, that's definitely a con. Another one would be that they're very odd looking designs. I know that they're supposed to be like crabs, but to me they look like a block with pieces attached to it, which that's literally what it is. But I mean, it's kind of like, you can kind of see the crab look if you look at the eyes and the teeth and all that and the claws, but it just doesn't look good to me. I don't think it looks good. It just looks like a block, which that it is. Another con is that their arms are really loose, and they do this a lot. They're really wobbly. And I know they have to do that because of the connectors they use, because these are the thin ones. So, and that's the only way that the motorized function can work, but it is still kind of bad in my opinion, because it's really loose. Like, it just feels like it feels like it's gonna break, personally. But it's just kind of bad. And another, there's a lot of cons. There's just a lot, so bear with me, please. So another one is that for this one in particular, that the teeth doesn't, or claws, or whatever you want to call this, at the bottom does not match, because since it's white and it's kind of like off-putting. Now this one is fine because, you know, the color scheme is white and orange, but this one is, you know, it's pretty much black, gray, and yellow, and then you just throw in this random white claws piece at the two white claw pieces at the bottom. It's like, where did that come from? What was the point of that? I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. Personally, that is definitely a con for me, and for others as well. So, yeah. Now this is not by the community. This is just a personal con for myself. Is I don't personally, for me, I just don't really think they really feel like. I don't want to say don't feel like Bionicles. They just feel kind of. I mean, yes, I know that Bionicles, yes, they are, and for the longest time, I did not know these were Bionicle sets, because by the time I got into Bionicle, I was kind of like well into like 2005 and 6, so I was kind of like, okay, these are Bionicles, and then when I went back into the earlier years, I'm like, okay, that's Bionicle. But I just did not really feel like these really felt like Bionicles. When I seen these, I was like, what are these? They look weird. They're very strange looking builds. I mean, like, I just did not understand the motorized function, and even seeing it firsthand, like actually building it and playing with and testing it out. I like it. I like the Monas more than I thought I would, but they are still definitely not on my list of favorite Bionicle sets. Like, even in 2001, they're definitely not on my favorite list, so they're not gonna be in my top list. if you're thinking that they are, they're not. I like them enough. They're decent sets, but they're not something I'm gonna just be like in my top 5 list of Bionicle sets. The Manas, no, it's not gonna be nothing like that. So yeah, that's personally how I feel about that. So with that, that will conclude this review of the Manas, of the Bionicle Retro review, and that will conclude the final set of 2001. We have finally finished it. I didn't think it was going to take this long. I honestly thought this was going to be a lot quicker, but turns out it didn't. So, yeah. It's a pretty long, it's a pretty big year. This is actually one of the bigger years. I mean, of course, this is the first year, so they kind of wanted to really, like, show off. So, yeah, this is one of the bigger years and one of the more expensive ones, because getting the Manas, when it took me so long to get it, because these sets are very expensive. Like the ones you see right here, the ones I got, the used ones were they were about $200, and that sounds like, oh, that's not a lot, but I'm like, a brand new one's $300 and $400. Heck, the ones I seen was like $500, so they're kind of pricey. So if you're gonna get them, I personally say get them used. I mean, if you really want them, make sure that the batteries work, then go with new, but that's if you have a pretty penny. If you don't have that kind of cash, then I will say get them used. Just hope and pray that they that the batteries work. I mean, honestly, that's just me. That's me. That's personally me. But you don't have to do that. Do what you will. I mean, I can't make you do anything. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the Manas. So join me next time when I think about doing a overview of all the 2001 sets, just to kind of like, kind of like really like finish it off and, talk about the experience and all this and that and the other and my favorite sets, whatever. I want to do that. I have a poll on Twitter. If anyone is interested, please follow me on Twitter and check that out. I would definitely appreciate it a lot if you do, but you don't have to. I will put it on screen somewhere. It'll be a link in the description as well, so take what you will for that. I would just love if you guys could check me out there as well, and I would love to talk to you and interact with more of you there as well. So, or you can comment here. I'll read the comments and all that stuff. So just do what you will, whatever. Okay, so that will be it for today's Bionicle Retro review, and I will see you guys hopefully next week with the overview of 2001, or maybe even the Borak or the Borak file, wherever one I get. I don't know. I don't have them yet. I'm going to purchase them, so just give me some time. All right. Okay. I have been your host, Robethematoran, and I'll see you guys in the next Bionicle Retro review.
On the island of Matanui, an ancient warning of great beasts. Beware, the Rai have come for your masks. The Toa must face the terrifying jaws of Kani Ra, the striking blows of Tarakava, and the mighty claws of the Manas. Can you find the power? Bionicle. Batteries not included. Each set sold separately.